Hello, 6th graders. Welcome to Big Ideas Math, Contract Math, Section 9.1, 2014 edition, Surface Areas of Prisms lesson. Pause while you write 9.1 lesson in your math notebook. Pause again while you write today's lesson objective. Today's lesson objective is find the surface area of a prism using a formula. Pause while you copy the following key idea and example exactly as it appears into your notebook. Today we are beginning on page 356. Example 1 is finding the surface area of a rectangular prism. The directions say, find the surface area of a prism. The first thing we need to do is draw a net. So we can see over here we have our rectangular prism, and to the right of that over here we have its net. So in order to find the surface area we need to use the formula that was given to us on the previous slide, which is also right here, which is S equals 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. So the first thing we need to do is decide what is our length, width, and height. So we'll look over at our rectangular prism and label its length, width, and height. So we have our length, which is the 3 inches. We have our height over here, 6 inches, and then we have the width, 5 inches. And now if we look over at our net, we have our length and our width and height. So then we plug in those numbers to our formula. So we have 2 times 3 times 5 equals 30, plus 2 times 3 times 6 equals 36, plus 2 times 5 times 6 equals 60, which gives us the surface area of 126 square inches. Now we will be moving on to example 2, finding the surface area of a triangular prism. So we're going to be doing the exact same thing that we did on the previous slide, only on this slide we have triangles added to our shape. So we need to remember what the formula for finding the area of a triangle is. So let's look over our remember box over here, and the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So the formula for finding the surface area of a triangular prism is to add the area of the bases and the lateral faces. So let's look up here and we will talk about what are the bases and what are the lateral faces. So we see up here on our rectangular prism that our bases are the triangles. So here's our bases on our net, the 2 red triangles. So then let's talk about what are the lateral faces. The lateral faces are going to be all of the other shapes here in the different colors. So as you can see, we found the area of each shape by using the formula. So we found the area of the bases, the formula 1/2 base times height. We used the formula length times width to find the area of the lateral faces. Then we plug it into our equation. So S equals areas of bases plus areas of lateral faces. So in this case, we have two bases, so as you can see here, there are two identical bases, so count the area twice. That is why there's two 6's here. Then we do plus 18, plus 30, plus 24, which was the area of the lateral faces. And that equals the surface area of 84 square meters. Moving on to example 3. Let's look over at the remember. It says a cube has 6 congruent square faces. So it says when all the edges of a rectangular prism have the same length, S, the rectangular prism is a cube. The formula for the surface area of a cube is S equals 6S squared. Our example says to find the surface area of the cube. Our first step is to write the formula for surface area of a cube, S equals 6S squared. Then we're going to substitute 12 for S, because as we see over here, we have 12 meters. We do 6 times 12 squared. So we do the math for that, and we get 864 square meters. Now we will be moving on to our real-life application. The outside of purple traps are coated with glue to catch emerald ash borders. You make your own trap in the shape of a rectangular prism with an open top and bottom. What is the surface area that you need to coat with glue? Our first step is to find the lateral surface area. Now let's remember what lateral is. Lateral is going to be all of these sides, not the top and the bottom. Those would be our bases. Now let's label our length, height, and width of our rectangular prism. Our length is 12 inches, our width is our 10 inches, and our height is our 20 inches. When we plug those numbers into our formula over here, we get 2 times 12 times 20 plus 2 times 10 times 20, which equals 480 plus 400, which equals 880 square inches. Your assignment for this lesson is to complete the On Your Own problems below, also on pages 356 through 358 of your textbook. Show your work and be prepared to share during our next class.
Remember, to earn credit for viewing this flipped lesson, you need to complete your exit slip, come to our next class prepared with the journal pages or other work from the flipped lesson completed, be prepared with any work that was assigned in the flipped lesson completed, and be prepared with any questions you have for your teacher, and of course have a good attitude.